Hello, Joyce DeBakker. I
Hi.
have to say, I absolutely love catching up and hearing your story. And we've met quite, well, it must be 7 or 8 years ago. We started working
2016.
together. And on and off, we've been doing things over the years. But your story, I feel, is so inspiring. Would you like to tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have manifested and some of the beliefs that you found and were able to just smash, and maybe talk a little bit about where you were, what was happening, and what is happening now in your life? Okay.
Well, yes. So when I met you first up, I'd actually just moved back from Belgium to Australia. So it was a very tumultuous time at that point in time. And I started working with you. And I do remember back then, I I manifested quite a bit, I guess. Things were going for me, but my mindset was in the drain. I did not believe wealth was for me. I
Mm,
didn't believe I could ever be wealthy. I always thought earning money was hard work, and that kind of reflected in my life
yeah,
tremendously. So when we started first working together, I think we worked one-on-one that
we
first
did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
time, and we did RTT sessions, we did mindset sessions. And I have to say, I got a lot out of that because I had also just started my business, and I did get some really, really good clients sort of following those sessions that I did with you. Um, Now, I do want to put one kind of caveat in there is that it didn't happen overnight.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
and I have manifested quite a bit. And lately it seems like I'm on the manifesting train, which is even better, but we're quite a few years down the track. But after working with you for a little while, I remember I was looking for an apartment, and I just wanted to move out by myself and not live with housemates anymore. And do you remember you made me an audio to kind of settle into that feeling of the kind of place that I wanted to manifest and how I would feel there and what it would kind of look like, what emotions it brought up in me. So I listened to that religiously for probably a couple of months. And one day I went and looked at an apartment, and as I was walking through it, I could just feel that it was mine. And while I'd been looking for about well, it'd be a couple of months, maybe even more than that, and I hadn't really put many applications in, when I put my application in for that apartment, and I just knew it. It had exactly that feeling that I had been wanting to conjure up. The next day, so I put it in the afternoon, evening. The next day at about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., I already got the call. And a couple of hours later, all the paperwork was in my account. It was my apartment. So it was also just learning to listen to myself and trusting that the feeling that I had going into something, if it felt right,
Yeah.
I had to act.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that whole inspired action is a big part of it, isn't it? When you get the gut feeling that this is
Definitely.
something to do, to just take the action. Brilliant. I love
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that I wasn't scared, because I was still scared. I would be paying for all the bills by myself. I had to keep the income generating and all that kind of stuff. So it was still extremely scary, and I really had to stretch myself. But I just knew within myself, it was just nearly like a push forward, just something pushing me forward. And I think that's what you taught me over all those, years and months, is that to just really tune in and listen when something feels right and it is right, just step
yeah.
forward and grab it.
And you, I remember when you moved into that apartment as well, you grew. You
Yes.
actually, your mindset grew. You felt much more like a wealthy woman because you had that space and it was all yours, and you didn't, have to share that. There was a big
That's
change in
right.
you again afterwards. Again, you grew into it.
Yeah, it was. It was. And I probably have so many stories, probably far too many to just share in this little tidbit of, that we're talking about. But I also just want to share kind of this story, and especially this belief that I've held on to for such a long time. And it's the fact that I thought that when you are overweight, you can't be
Yeah,
wealthy.
yeah,
And that's something I held on to because I strongly believe, because I was overweight, I was not allowed by whatever rules and regulations to be wealthy, earn good money. That was not set aside for me.
mhm,
Um, Now the funny part of this story is that after moving states here in Australia. Anyway, a whole lot of things happened, but probably about a year and a half ago, I went for a job. And again, I had that feeling it was right. The person that I met was amazing. My boss was amazing. And I immediately got that was like a 20, no, it was more, $40,000 pay rise than what I'd earned previously in my
Yeah.
job. And I was a lot bigger than what I was in the other job, like weight wise.
Yeah. Okay.
And then by the end of last year, I got another promotion. I went up by probably another $20,000. And now recently I got another promotion, which saw me going up another $20,000. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
honestly, and I was literally with the last that pay rise just before Christmas, I was honestly at my heaviest that I have ever been. And I
Yeah.
remember laughing with you. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? That I was just laughing so much. And then I said, look at me, like slapping myself in the face, basically, with
Yeah.
that belief,
Yeah.
because it did all eventuate. And
Mm.
it's just that putting in the work, I guess. And it's not in the work as slaving over it, but
Yeah.
changing those thoughts
Yeah.
bit by bit.
It is, and when you change the thoughts, you see the new reality. And I know or remember at the time as well when you did that and you were just laughing, how did I do this? And it was easy. You even came up with this. It wasn't hard. It's easy. And
Easy.
everything has
That's
become easy
right.
because that's a new belief now that you've got. And I know as well that even when you got that and you got that big job and you got that big pay rise, once you let go of the belief that you could make money and still be overweight, you also let go of loads of weight.
Yes, since then. It's such a such
Yeah,
a dichotomy, is that the word? Or it's such a
yeah,
contrast to
yeah,
what I believed and who I was all those years ago and who I am now. I can easily see opportunities. I think that's manifesting as well, is because you grow into a new person, you see more things,
yeah,
you see
yeah,
more possibilities for yourself, and it's following again those nudges of possibility.
yeah,
You see something, or just try it, just see where it goes. Even something stupid as when I lost my car keys not so long ago on a dog walk. Um, and I walked up and down, I just could not find them. It had everything on it, all my keys to my house and car and everything else. And I had this little nudge saying, something in me said, oh, check the coffee place around the corner, which wasn't even on my walk that I had been on. But I went to the coffee place, my keys were there.
oh my
It's
goodness.
it's
Somebody
just
dropped them in or
literally,
something, is it?
yes, somebody picked them up and dropped them off there. And it's just all those little,
Yeah,
just really
yeah,
follow that voice inside of you, or that feeling inside of you, is just follow it.
yeah. That is one of the steps, actually, one of the 5 steps that I teach, taking the intuitive action. And it is so profound, actually. Joyce, I love talking to you and you are fantastic. And I'm really proud. And I loved any time that we happen to meet and do things together. You just took everything on board. You trusted the process, you did it, you listened to the audio, and it was so fast with you. So you've been fantastic. And I know you've been in different groups and things that I've been done over the years, and you always have this gorgeous energy. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming
You
on the call. And I look forward to seeing where you go next, actually. Bye
exactly.
bye. Thanks a million.
Bye.